In April 2020, a situation involving Keelan Hill and Denver police officers unfolded after a minor traffic incident on Interstate 25 in Colorado. The incident escalated into legal disputes, allegations of rights violations, and concerns over police conduct. The episode began when Keelan Hill, age 25, called 911 after a minor collision with two other drivers. Officer Thomas Ludwig of the Denver Police Department arrived at the scene and initiated discussions with the other individuals involved while Hill was being evaluated by paramedics inside an ambulance. The situation took a turn when Hill exited the ambulance and noticed Officer Ludwig searching his vehicle without consent.
What are you doing? Stepping to me, huh? What the f*** is in my face? What don't think so, dude. What is this? Oh, what am I? What the f***?
What are you stopping the cops for, man?
I did not ask you to get out of my car.
No, I watched you. I got you on my video camera.
I asked you to get out of my car. That's it.
You're being an to everybody.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Sir, oh. Get right to work, brother. Ow. It's easy to hit my up. Money. What did happen? You got a hip monitor too, huh? Wow.
On probation, I'm sure.
I'm not on
The
probation.
probation officer's gonna love that.
I'm not on probation at all.
The officer claimed he detected the odor of marijuana, implying that this gave him the authority to conduct the search. The legality of such searches based on marijuana odor varies across states, and in Colorado, where recreational marijuana is legal, the odor can contribute to probable cause for a search. However, legal nuances exist. Hill confronted Officer Ludwig about the search, leading to a heated argument. The officer's aggressive response escalated the tension instead of employing de-escalation techniques. While Hill's behavior might have prompted concern, it's questionable whether it warranted the officer's level of aggression. Hill was arrested and charged with interference with police activity. These charges were later dropped, but the incident spurred Hill to file a lawsuit against the city of Denver and the involved officers.
If I in there, I'm not intoxicated at all.
Go ahead and have a seat in there.
Go for it. Please go for it.
Okay, have a seat.
Y'all are illegally searching my car.
Have a seat. Have a seat. Put your feet up.
ID, bro.
Push yourself all the way back.
Hold.
He alleged violations of his First and Fourth Amendment rights and claimed damages, including missing a master's degree final exam due to his incarceration. Critiques of the officer's conduct centered on several points. Firstly, despite the possible legality of the initial search, the decision to arrest Hill was deemed unnecessary and potentially unconstitutional. Officer Ludwig's unprofessional behavior, particularly his failure to de-escalate the situation, garnered criticism. His confrontational approach escalated the disagreement rather than diffusing it, highlighting the significance of emotional awareness in police interactions. Moreover, the officers faced criticism for their response to Hill's request for medical assistance. According to the Denver Police Department's Operation Manual, officers are required to provide medical attention to individuals in custody. Hill's expression of uncertainty about his injury should have prompted a more compassionate response from the officers, as opposed to the callous indifference displayed. This incident underscores the complexities of police interactions and the importance of effective de-escalation techniques. While the legality of certain actions can be ambiguous, officers should prioritize public safety and citizens' rights. Emotions and situational awareness play crucial roles in determining the outcome of such encounters. During a routine traffic stop in Coronado, California, the man is confronted by the police for allegedly violating the California Vehicle Code. The officer singles out the GoPro camera mounted on his helmet as the reason for the stop, initiating a contentious debate over the interpretation and application of the law.
It's an infraction. It's a moving violation. You can't have anything on your helmet. It compromises the integrity. Can I have the information I asked you for, please?
Actually, sir, I mean, the fact that you pulled me over for a traffic violation of a GoPro on the top of my helmet, which is for my safety, it's kind of ridiculous. I will not be consenting to anything. So
Okay.
if you need to get a sergeant out here, that'd be great. But
What's your name?
did I commit a crime?
I've stopped you for a traffic violation.
Okay.
I've asked you for your information. You're refusing to give it to me.
I'm not refusing to give it to you. It's just I did not commit a crime. And you pulled me over for a GoPro on my helmet,
And it's a traffic violation.
which is for my safety.
Do you understand what I stopped you
What's
for?
your name and badge number? Bliss, what's your badge number?
You answer my
Asserting his Fourth Amendment rights, the man engages in a heated argument with the police, refusing to provide his identification. He maintains that he has not committed a crime and questions the legality of the officer's actions.
And in fact, it's the stupidest thing you pull me over for is that freaking camera.
Is speeding a crime?
A camera on my helmet.
Is speeding a crime?
A camera on my helmet, sir.
Answer my question. Speeding a
I'm
crime?
not answering any more questions. I'd like to speak to my lawyer.
Can I have your information, please?
You can get your sergeant.
Sit tight. I just want to let you know that I'm also recording this stop.
Of course you
I've
are.
asked you numerous times for your information and refusing to do so.
I'm not refusing. If I committed a crime, I would absolutely give you my ID.
All right. You've been stopped for a traffic violation,
I got stopped for a GoPro on my helmet.
and I've told you it's a traffic violation.
That's a bullshit violation. So go ahead and get your sergeant here.
Okay, I've told you it's a violation, so you're still refusing to produce your information.
If
when you've
you
been
can
informed that you
articulate a crime that I have committed, I will ID. Until then, I do
Okay.
not have to ID. And in fact, this is a violation of my Fourth Amendment right, and I am now invoking Title 18, Section 242, deprivation of rights under color of law. If you do one more movement without getting your sergeant here, you're fucked.
Did you hear me?
Did you hear me? Get your sergeant here. I'm done speaking to you. I told you I am done talking. I am now invoking my Fifth Amendment right to stay silent.
If
Thank
you
you.
fail to produce your information,
Then what? You're going to
you're
arrest
in
me?
jeopardy of being
So that'd
placed
be
under
kidnapping.
arrest.
And I already invoked Title 18, Section 242.
How is that kidnapping?
You'll find that out in court, sir.
You're failing to identify
You'll
to
find that
myself.
out in
Are
court.
you familiar with?
Are you getting your sergeant?
Are you familiar with Section Penal Code
Are
148?
you not listening to a lawful order?
Are you listening to
Call
my
your
lawful order?
sergeant.
Invoking Title 18, Section 242, the man points out the potential degradation of rights under the color of law, emphasizing his knowledge of legal statutes. In addition, he exercises his Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, further reinforcing his stance against self-incrimination. The encounter intensifies as legal principles clash with law enforcement's demands for identification.
He literally pulled me over for this.
You Cody Shear?
Mind your own business.
Are you Cody Shear?
I am not answering questions.
Okay.
I don't answer questions.
Wow, this cop is a piece of shit. Not only is he harassing this man, he's out here blatantly saying his name. If that even is his name, he's just throwing out someone's information like that. This cop's a grade A piece of shit.
Hey Cody, if he issues you a citation, are you gonna sign it?
If he issues me a citation,
Correct.
he could take that and wipe his ass with it.
Why are you being so...
Because he pulled me over for a fucking GoPro on my helmet.
Okay.
Okay? Is that a crime?
If it's in the vehicle code, then yes, it is.
Is it a crime? Do you know what a crime is?
Yes, I know what a crime is. If
Okay.
it's in the vehicle code, then it's a crime.
So just tell me what the difference between a crime and an infraction is.
An infraction is a crime, yes.
Okay, so what, is this a misdemeanor or a felony?
I don't know. It's definitely not felony.
Well, I know that, but is it a misdemeanor or a felony?
It's
Neither
most likely
one.
Not, it's most likely not a
Either
a
one.
misdemeanor too.
Okay.
But I don't.
So I
know
don't need
that.
I don't need an ID for a non-crime.
He's
The other cop comes to the guy and asks him to provide his ID, where he asks the cop really politely if this is a crime, and that he has a cam on his helmet, where the guy refused to give his ID to the cops.
How's it going, Lee?
Morning, sir. How are you?
Morning.
So what's going on?
So it was a great day.
Okay.
Okay, I was just out enjoying my day, and I got pulled over for having a GoPro on my helmet.
Okay.
Okay, and so I let Bliss know that, you know, this is a violation of my Fourth Amendment right. The fact that I was just traveling, I was following all the rules and laws of the road and traffic safety and nothing. And then he gets behind me and pulls me over for a GoPro and tries to tell me that that's a violation of whatever code. What safety code? What does it even matter? You know, what if I had a fin on my helmet? What if I put my visor up? Is that now a violation of the traffic code? Like, look how close my visor is being as high as my GoPro. What violation, what crime have I committed? Please tell me.
Okay, so you're in violation of the California Vehicle Code, which says you can't have that mounted on your helmet.
Okay, so can you
It's as
tell me
simple
what
as
code
that.
that is?
Pardon?
What code is that?
Pardon? I don't know. What code is it?
Okay, look that up and also
But
tell me what crime I
regardless-
committed.
Regardless, it's an infraction.
Okay,
It's like speeding.
and I'll see him in court.
Correct.
Absolutely.
need
And
your
it's gonna be a
we
fun
need
day in
your-
court. Make sure you're ready for a full day, buddy.
Right. And we need your information.
A discussion unfolds between the man and sergeant who arrives at the scene. The man asserts his rights and questions the legality of being pulled over for having a GoPro on his helmet. Tensions rise as they debate the need for identification and potential consequences.
Are you threatening me
I'm not
with
threatening you at all.
arrest?
I want to know whether
No,
you're going to
with
provide us
with
with
an
your
arrest.
identification so he can fill out his citation, so then we can give you a summons to go to court, so then you can come to court and then talk to the judge.
You know how easy it is for him to just put his tail between his legs and say, take that off your helmet?
Pardon?
Why couldn't he have said, if that's such a violation, why couldn't he just ask me to take it off?
Well, he would have.
No, he didn't. He could have, he walked up. He wanted my ID so he can give me a
wanted
ticket.
your ID, so he
Right.
could, how do you know he's going to give you a ticket?
Because he asked for my ID.
How do you know he's going to give you a
It
ticket?
doesn't matter. I mean,
So you're making an
listen,
assumption
so
because
listen,
he
here,
asked
look,
for an
here,
ID
right here,
that you're going to get a ticket.
right
correct?
here. Don't be
So-
grabbing, and you're getting too close to my personal stuff. Right here is my ID.
Okay.
Okay. Am I being threatened with an arrest because I put a GoPro for my safety on my helmet and got pulled over by a...
The man firmly asserts his belief that he is not obligated to provide his identification unless he has committed a crime. He challenges the sergeant, accusing him of violating constitutional rights and asserting that law enforcement officers are merely public servants. He provided the cop with the ID.
You asked for one thing, you got one thing, that's all you're getting. And until this, I speak to my lawyer.
Well, I'm not a party to this. I was just throwing it out there.
Okay.
Just to throw it out there.
Tensions escalate as both parties exchange harsh words, with the man displaying a distrust of the officer and expressing his intention to expose alleged misconduct. The encounter concludes with the man receiving a citation and preparing for a legal battle, vowing to challenge the actions of the officer and seeking accountability for what he perceives as a violation of his rights. In September 2014, a concerning incident unfolded during a police accountability march in Lynn, Massachusetts, shedding light on officers allegedly breaking the law while being captured on camera. The incident was documented by Ms. Bay, the founder of the Bay State Examiner, an independent media source focused on police interactions and accountability. While attending the march, Ms. Bay noticed an undercover police officer trailing the protest in an unmarked vehicle. Seeking accountability, she approached the officer to request his name and badge number. In a startling turn of events, the officer reportedly hit her with his vehicle.
Howdy. Sorry to bother again. Oh, hey.
Can I have your IDs?
Uh,
You guys are fine, right? Both your IDs. Pardon me? I need both your IDs.
What's the law for your request?
Because you're on private property.
I'm on private property and you get to see my
In the back lot. You're on private property. You asked you need to take your time. I need your IDs. IDs?
can I have yours?
I don't have one on me.
No, okay.
Well, go to the chief.
We are.
Sure.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah. Can we speak to the chief? This officer has invited us to speak with him.
This incident prompted Miss Bay to take matters into her own hands. Days later, Miss Bay ventured to the Lynn Police Station's back lot in pursuit of evidence regarding the vehicle that had allegedly struck her. Her efforts were met with resistance from an unidentified officer who swiftly expelled her from the premises. Undeterred, she entered the police department building to file a formal complaint about the incident and to seek officer identifications. The encounter within the police station would go on to raise a myriad of legal and ethical concerns. The situation escalated when the officers on duty refused to identify themselves and labeled Ms. Bay's presence as trespassing on private property. Massachusetts law, however, stipulates that police officers are required to carry identification cards and display them upon a lawful request. This refusal constituted a violation of this legal obligation.
You're welcome
What
to go
sense?
back there and take a look after.
Okay. Oh, after? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
But we need your IDs now.
I'm not interested in showing that at this
No?
I'm not. Yeah.
Alright, so you guys are refusing? Alright, then we'll just leave. You can go. So we want to check the...
Yeah, I was gonna say, you've invited us to speak with the
chief's
chief.
a busy guy.
Oh.
You just suggested we talk to the chief.
Well,
Yeah, but I guess
Uh,
apparently he's not...
I'm sorry,
He
what's...
just told you to do that, right?
No, you told us to talk to the chief.
Yeah, and you came around here and he's not coming down here.
Oh, right.
So maybe you should call him
Call
and
the
make an appointment with him.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. We can do that.
And may I have both of your names and ID
That's
cards?
badge 88.
Badge 88.
Badge 88?
Yep.
The officers ordered Miss Bay to vacate the premises, accusing her of creating a disturbance and trespassing. In response, she asserted her right to continue recording for news-gathering purposes. A crucial distinction emerged. While Massachusetts acknowledges the right to record police, this right is not absolute and must adhere to reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions that safeguard officer safety, informants, and victims. The incident also underscored the nuanced relationship between the First Amendment and trespassing laws. While Ms. Bay's intent to file a complaint justified her presence to some extent, officers claimed she was trespassing and sought to remove her from the building. Legal precedents highlighted the complexity of these issues, including the right to record police versus the limitations imposed on such activities within police stations.
Not with you. Who do I make a complaint with?
The chief's the best guy.
The chief's the best guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So make an appointment.
Okay.
What's up with that? What is it that you're looking for?
Well, I found the car that hit me on Friday. I was recording it earlier. It's out back.
Okay, and what are you doing going in private property videotaping police cars?
What private property?
The property that's parked out back there posted as no trespassing, authorized personnel only.
I didn't see that.
Well, it's posted all over the entrances to that parking lot.
Interesting.
It is interesting, but it is also posted.
Okay.
You're subject to arrest for going back into private property.
Am I being arrested?
Police cars. Huh?
Am I being arrested?
I said you are subject to arrest.
Okay.
Despite these legal complexities, officers' conduct raised questions about their intentions and commitment to accountability. Their refusal to take Ms. Bay's claims seriously and their hindrance of her ability to file a complaint cast doubts on their willingness to engage transparently with civilian concerns. The encounter raised concerns about the potential misuse of laws to deter individuals from lodging complaints against law enforcement officers. In the aftermath of the incident, Ms. Bay submitted a Freedom of Information Act request to the Lynn's Record Department.
The officer in charge will be out with you when he gets a second.
Okay.
Talk to you and get your complaint.
Well, somebody does need to tell him that that's what's going
Well,
on.
if he's already done that, then your complaint has been filed and documented.
There's information that he literally doesn't have because I didn't have it until right now. When I went back, I found the car. So I would like to tell him that the car is back there, that it's been repaired, even though they didn't report, I guess. Well, you know what, actually, I'm filming this for news gathering purposes at this point.
Yet her efforts were met with resistance, and it remains uncertain whether the department ever responded to her request. Her documentation of the event and her subsequent efforts to highlight the challenges faced by citizens seeking accountability and transparency within law enforcement agencies. Now let's move on to the next investigation. In a noteworthy incident that unfolded on June 5, 2015, the spotlight fell on Michael Hoffman, a private investigator and an advocate for the First Amendment. The scenario took place in Jacksonville, Florida, as Hoffman engaged in conducting surveillance as part of a case. His objective was to track down an individual's movements and actions across multiple locations. However, the situation took an unexpected turn when the person under surveillance alleged that Hoffman was stalking her.
Investigator of some sort?
Can I ask why you pulled me over, sir?
I pulled you over because the young ladies came over there and said you've been following her since she left the airport yesterday. So I want to know who you are.
Have I committed a crime?
No, but I'm conducting an investigation. Have you been following that young lady? I mean, if you're an investigator, investigate what? But if you're somebody harassing her or stalking her, that's against the law. Me pulling you over to find out who you are is me doing my job.
Am I free to go?
No, you are not. Not until I find out who you are. I'm conducting an investigation. You have your driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance on you?
Have you pulled me for a traffic violation, sir?
No, sir. I've already explained that to you. Now, you can play the back and forth rigmarole.
This accusation prompted a response from law enforcement, specifically an officer from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. The encounter between Hoffman and the officer was marked by a clash of rights and principles. As the officer initiated a traffic stop, the interaction was captured on camera and later disseminated on the Awakening the Masses YouTube channel. The video depicted the exchange as the officer sought to ascertain the veracity of the stalking claim. He engaged Hoffman in conversation, asking about his identity, purpose, and whether he was an investigator. Hoffman's response was calculated and assertive. He began by asking the officer the reason for pulling him over, which initiated a dialogue regarding the stalking allegation. The officer cited the complainant's assertion that Hoffman had been tailing her since previous day. Despite Hoffman's protestations, the officer deemed it necessary to investigate the matter. He explained that his actions were guided by the need to ascertain whether Hoffman was involved in harassing or stalking behavior, which is legally prohibited.
Oh, tell him to come up here. We're at the 8100 block of Arlington Express.
I don't answer questions, Stephanie.
You don't answer questions. You just stalk young ladies. Just stand by them. Stand by.
Your name and badge number, deputy? Your name and badge number, deputy?
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Name and badge number, sir?
Simpson 6619.
Masinsin, M-A-S-I-N-S-I-N. Sir, I'd like to know why I'm being detained.
No, we want to find. Someone's saying that you're claiming your stock, and are you an investigator or anything?
Okay, let me make this clear, sir. I would like for you to articulate what crime you...
The crux of the disagreement hinged on the rights invoked by Hoffman. When the officer requested identification, Hoffman invoked his Fifth Amendment rights, a constitutional privilege against self-incrimination. This assertion caused a pivotal shift in the interaction, as Hoffman insisted he would only speak in the presence of legal counsel. The officer, seemingly perplexed by this response, requested that Hoffman bring his attorney to the scene for further questioning. Hoffman's stance was rooted in legal principles. He argued that during a Terry stop, law enforcement could pose a limited number of questions to establish identity and to determine if any suspicions were valid. However, Hoffman remained steadfast in asserting that he was under no obligation to answer questions without the presence of legal representation, especially considering the potential implications of his responses. The officer's actions were grounded in the assumption that a stalking accusation, combined with a corroborated vehicle description, constituted reasonable suspicion for a stop and investigation. This view aligned with legal precedent, exemplified by the 2002 case of United States v. Sokolow, which allows law enforcement to act on a tip if it bears indicia of reliability. The Supreme Court has ruled that reasonable suspicion necessitates a particularized and objective basis for suspecting wrongdoing. Despite the differing interpretations, the encounter eventually concluded with the officer permitting Hoffman to leave. The tension between rights and responsibilities underscored the complexity of police-citizen interactions.
Some professional courtesy and treat me with the respect I deserve. What is your name and badge number?
Well, sir. I gave you mine. 0051.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Deputy. Was that so hard?
No.
The law states I don't have to give my name and information unless you suspect me of committing a crime.
You don't.
Then am I free to go? Because this is an illegal detainment.
At this time.
This is an illegal detainment.
But like I said, your paramedic description we were given.
I respect
doesn't
that.
mean
I respect
you're guilty.
That. I respect that. You're talking to an ex-law enforcement officer, buddy. Now, I understand you're doing no fault with that. You are doing your job.
Okay.
And the mere fact that I'm exercising my legal rights does not make...
Shedding light on the importance of understanding legal rights during such encounters. Hoffman's case emphasized that individuals have the right to remain silent and request legal counsel during a Terry stop, while officers must balance their duty to investigate with the requirement to respect constitutional rights. The incident became a case study in navigating the delicate balance between law enforcement's duty to investigate and an individual's rights to privacy and legal protection. As the video disseminated, it sparked discussions about the scope of police authority during stops, the validity of accusations, and the intricacies of the Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination. Michael Hoffman's assertiveness in upholding his rights and the officer's attempts to fulfill his duty encapsulated a pivotal moment in the ongoing dialogue about law enforcement practices and individual freedoms. Now let's take a look at the next investigation.